All right, guys. So we're gonna be playing some Heroclix, okay? Really fun game. I really just got into it. So first things first is you are going to want a copy of your powers and abilities. So pretty much you're gonna reference this all the time, okay? See that focuses up? Okay, cool. After that, I do have a little demo game right here. I just have random figures right here, and then we're gonna play with the starter set for Marvel. You are going to want to need dice, okay, when you're playing. You want some type of way to be able to get line of fire, so I have this laser. You're gonna want chips as well. And then also, this is key, you do need this. Okay, there we go. Going on to this side as well. This is your player reference for your characters. It shows the hit points right here and then all the abilities as well. So the back just shows everything that your character can do at some point in time, okay? But other than that, this is your movement, this is your attack, this is your defense, and right here is your damage, okay? Moving on to there. This is the actual click, okay? This also references this, okay? So pretty much you do have the team symbol, which is right here. You do have the point value. You have the rarity in the set. You have the number. And then obviously you have the speed, attack, and defense symbol with the damage symbol right here, okay? Whenever you take damage, you simply just turn it to the click based off how many damages was done to you. So if you look at this, you probably can't really see it, but that right there is a little one right there above the damage number. Okay, so we're gonna look at Iron Man real quick. So that just tells you that you are on box 1, okay? Other than that, we're not really gonna get into detail too much in this tutorial. We're just gonna show you the bare minimum of how to play this game, okay? Other than that, we'll move on to the next page. So pretty much the key concepts over here is your force. So what your force is your team, okay? You have friendly and opposing. Obviously, your friendly is people on your team, and opposing is your opponent. Next is adjacency, which we'll go into later. And then next we'll go over success and failure. So pretty much whenever you're attacking, you're gonna be rolling dice, okay? If you meet, which is equal to the damage right here, whenever you roll for attack, you're gonna look at your fist right there. You're gonna roll 2 dice. Those 2 dice get added on to your attack value, and you have to meet or beat the defense of your opponent, which is right there at the bottom, okay? So those are successes. Next thing we want to also go into is there is a critical success and critical failure, okay? Snake Eyes is a critical miss, which will deal you 1 damage. Critical success is you rolling 12, which will deal additional damage to your opponent, okay? Next, we're going to talk about the overview. So if you look right here, the overview of the turn, you have the phase 1, which is the beginning of the turn. Let's see what that says. There we go. Some effects trigger or end during this phase. Watch wording like at the beginning of the turn or at the beginning of each turn. So pretty much leadership, which we'll get into later, and then willpower, which we'll also get into later. Those are all beginning of turns, okay? So you're gonna want to do that at the beginning of your turn when your turn starts. Next is your action phase, okay? So during your action phase, this is where all the bread and butter happens in this game, okay? That's when you perform something called actions, okay? Now, depending on the point system of what you're playing, standard is 300 points, okay? So if you look right here, This number right here shows the point of this Black Panther, okay? 75 points, okay? So the number of actions that you get depending on the point system is the total number of your points divided by 100, okay? So if you have 300 points, then you're gonna be playing with 3 action points, okay? Now, here's the thing. If you have something called leadership, which Black Panther does, let me just show you right here. Okay, so leadership, see that right there? Leadership gives you an additional action point, plus you get a roll, and if you have a successful roll, you can remove an action from one of your characters, okay? The thing about Heroclix is this. You have a max. Each character is allowed to do 2 actions before they can't do anything at all, okay? So you pretty much are not mobile. You're immobilized once you have 2 actions, and that's what the coins symbolize, okay? Whenever you do an action, you're gonna put a token over here, just like that. And that symbolizes that an action was done, okay? Now, if there's at any point 2 coins or tokens on top of your character, they cannot perform an action other than something called free actions, okay? Which will be in your powers and abilities card right here. Okay? One of the main free powers is sidestep, okay? That's really good because it makes you move 2 moves for free, okay? Other than that, let me get that focus up. Once you perform your actions, then you go into the end of turn. So during the end of turn, what's gonna happen is some end of turn effects will go off, and then on top of that, you remove tokens from characters that did not perform powered action, which costed them a coin, okay? So if a coin was not put on that character that turn, then it is taken off. Any type of coins or tokens are removed from them, okay? All right, other than that, just pretty much what moving is you move up to the move value of your character. If you look at this, the top right there is the move value of Spider-Man. He has a move of 6. Okay, he also does have a special power ability on his card as well. But Spider-Man can move up to 6, okay? He could move through people in Heroclix. They could move through friendly characters, okay? But they cannot move through opposing characters unless stated otherwise, okay? Also, at any point when you're making a move, if you become adjacent to an opposing character, your movement automatically stops because you're engaged with them, okay? Now let's see. Well, this pretty much talks about moving. Now, other than that, we'll move to breakaway because I see breakaway right there. To do a breakaway, if you're engaged and if you want to move because you don't want to deal with this character no more, you have to make a breakaway roll. Okay, so you'll just do a simple roll like this. Okay, you have to roll at least a 4 or higher to be able to break away. If you're unsuccessful breaking away, as in you were trying to move, then that's going to cost you an action if you fail, okay? Also the same thing if you do movement types attacks as well. If you fail that takes up an action for you. Now, if you have something that has a free move, you have to do a free move, free roll breakaway, okay? Now, if you don't get out of the breakaway off a free move, that is okay. That does not use up any of your actions, okay? So you could attempt to do a free move, which people like to do sidestep. If you miss that breakaway, you could still do a regular move and roll again, okay? Now, after we do that, let me see, going on to the next page. Now we're gonna be talking about attacking, okay? Now, if you look at your character, we'll look at Captain Marvel. She has attack right there, okay? So if you see that little lightning bolt right here, this shows you her range. So she has a range of 5, okay? Which means she could attack people from 5 spaces away from her, okay? Moving back to her, you're gonna see the lightning bolt right here. All right, that shows how many people she could target with her attack, okay? Some of them go up to 2, 3. I have not seen one with 4 targets. The max that I've seen so far, and I'm still new, guys, is 3, okay? So during attacks, you cannot attack through characters. You need to have line of sight of people unless a card states otherwise, okay? And another key thing is this. If you are engaged with somebody, like see Spider-Man's right here, Spider-Man cannot attack Rogue or Wolverine because he is currently engaged with this character right here, okay? So that's a key thing to know. There are some abilities that have it to where you can target even if you're different characters if you're engaged with someone else, okay? Other than that, with dealing damage, going back to the character sheet card right here or the Heroclix, this number right here shows how much damage is dealt to the character whenever they perform an attack and deal damage, okay? There's defensive blocks that give characters invincible or super senses or what's the other one I'm thinking of? Invulnerability. Invulnerability and invincible, they're reducers, whereas super sense makes you roll to avoid the attack, okay? And like I said, I'll be going over those types of powers in a later video so you can really understand it. This is just pretty much the bare minimum so you can know how to play this game, okay? Other than that, we're just gonna play a light game. Okay, you do have something called team abilities. So if your character has an ability on their card, you'll be able to see it. There we go. He has the Avengers ability. So what the Avengers ability does, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit better. All friendly characters with this team ability at the beginning of the game choose a team ability. If this character modifies attack +1 when attacking one or more characters with the chosen team ability printed on their base. So pretty much what that's going to do, this is an Avengers theme team right here, except for Spider-Man. Spider-Man has the Spider-Man team ability, okay? So pretty much what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to name one of your opponent's characters' team ability so they get that buff, okay? As you can see, he has it too. So pretty much they just get +1 when attacking. Okay? So other than that, we're gonna play a quick game, okay? There is terrain. We are playing with the no terrain map right now because I'll go over terrain in a later video for you guys, okay? So what we are going to do is, since we're playing with the 300 team, we get 3 actions, okay? But you remember I was telling you, if you have a character that has leadership, which we do, which is Black Panther, you get an additional token, okay? Now, what we can do is this. I have 2 flyers, Iron Man and Captain Marvel. Whenever you fly, if you have flyers, you can carry at least 1 person with you unless stated otherwise, okay? You can carry more if it's stated as well, okay? The only thing is if you end up carrying a character, what carrying does is, let's say I decide to move right here with Captain Marvel, I can choose to carry Spider-Man and I have to put Spider-Man adjacent to Captain Marvel, okay? If I do that, Spider-Man cannot make an action, okay? That is a big thing, okay? Because that will be pretty broken if he's able to, okay? So what we're gonna do is for argument's sake, we are gonna play like we don't have flyers so we can use up all these chips, okay? So you get the idea. All right, so if we look at Black Panther has a move of 8. So we're just going to move him 8 spaces. And so we'll just look at this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll move him 8, so we'll put him right here. Okay, so that's one action, okay? Next, what we are going to do is, you know what? I'm gonna fly with somebody just because I don't want everybody getting tokens. All right, next what we're gonna do is we're going to move with Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel has a move of 6, so we're gonna move her 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll move her here, carrying Spider-Man. Okay. Matter of fact, we're not going to move the full 8. We'll put her right here. This will make sense more. Okay. Because you got to be strategic. Next, we're going to move Iron Man. So Iron Man has an ability right here. If you look at his speed, he has pink. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to reference the pink icon on your speed chart to see what it is. It's sidestep. Sidestep's a free action, move up to 2 squares. So we're going to go ahead and do that. 1, 2, okay. And then after that, what we are going to do is we're going to move Iron Man, his move of 7, okay. So that's going to put him 1, 2, 3. We'll just move him right here next to Black Panther, okay? So again, Black Panther does have an ability called Outwit. If you look at this right here, this could focus up. There we go. So we'll look at his, because you're gonna want to look at the damage one. So if the damage has a black outline around it, you'll just reference the damage. He has leadership, outwit. Okay. So pretty much what outwit's gonna do is you're gonna look at outwit at the damage section of your powers and abilities card. And outwit says it's a minimum of a range 4. Choose a target opposing character within range and line of fire, and choose any standard power or special power printed on the target's card. The target can't use the chosen power until next turn. That's a really good ability. So pretty much what that's saying is, let's say we targeted, let's say Spider-Man wasn't on our team. We could target any of these powers that he's on right now to be able to negate it for our turn and their turn, okay? You can also negate their character's powers too. That's why Outwit's a very, very strong ability, okay? You pretty much, if you build a team, you're gonna want a character that has Outwit, you're gonna want a character that has probability control, which we'll go over in a later video, and Perplex, okay? And we're gonna actually use Perplex because Iron Man has the ability Perplex, okay? So if you look at this right here, the Perplex is under the defense stat, that's brown, okay? And we'll just look at defense, see what it is. Actually, no, he doesn't have that. That's impervious, sorry guys. But he does have impervious, but let me see if I can find it. Right there. His damage one right here is Perplex, okay? And we'll look at Perplex right there. So Perplex says minimum range of 4. Choose a target character within range and line of fire. Modify one of that character's combat values other than damage plus or minus 1. So your combat value is this. So anything on here is your combat value. You can improve any of these except for damage, okay? So typically, if you're going to attack someone, you want to like buff up your attack, okay? Or if you know you can't attack, you want to get ready for the defense, you typically want to perplex your defense, giving you a buffer, making you a little bit harder to hit, okay? Now, that right there is all of my actions. So now in my turn. So now it will be your opponent's turn, okay? Now, let's just say our opponent ended up moving, which puts them right there, okay? Now it's going to go back to us, okay? Now, you remember what I was telling you at beginning of turn? So looking at this, Black Panther has the ability of leadership. Okay, so if we look at leadership, we're going to read what it does. Okay, so leadership, which is right here. For all friendly characters that can use leadership, action total is +1, which we already know. At the beginning of your turn, you may roll D6. At a 5 or 6, remove an action token from an adjacent friendly character that's less points and shares a keyword. That is so good, okay? Unfortunately, you can't leadership on yourself. You have to be adjacent to characters, okay? So let's just say we roll and we got a 6. Okay, perfect. So that means we can remove an action token from either Iron Man or Captain Marvel. So we'll move it from Captain Marvel, okay? And the reason why we're doing that is because we could choose because both of them are side by side from us, okay? Now, after that, what we are going to do is make an action. So first things first, if you look at Black Panther, he has the ability charge, okay, which is that green thing on the movement. Looking at charge, right there, it says charge, power, which power means it's going to take up an action. You half your speed, move, then close as free or make a close attack. Okay, so pretty much what that's saying is what we can do is we could move half our speed, which is 4, and if we're in range, we can make a close combat attack. Okay, that's going to be really good for us. Okay, so we are actually going to do that, and you're going to see that. So we have movement 4, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or we could go 1, 2, 1, 2, which puts us there, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're in range to attack anybody right now, okay? So I think right now what we're going to look at is, we're going to go for Rogue, okay? So we're going to put him right there, okay? So now remember what Charge said. We half our speed and then we make a close combat attack, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at Rogue. Rogue has a 17 defense, okay? So that means we need to be a 17 or higher. If you look at this, Black Panther's attack is 12 currently because he's on click 1, okay? So after that, and let's just say we name the X-Men team ability. So we're going to get this stat too, okay? Right here, because we named the X-Men team ability and Rogue's and X-Men, okay? So what we're going to do is we get 12 plus the 1 because we have this right here for our team ability. So that's 13. We need a 4 or better to hit Rogue, okay? So let's see. Okay, oh, that's perfect. We got doubles. So what does doubles do? Doubles actually, if we end up hitting the person and we have doubles, we do something called a knockback. And a knockback moves the person 3 spaces back, okay? So we're not going to knock back. We'll just keep it as is. But we currently are doing, see if that zooms. It does not. We're currently doing 3 damage, okay? But we have the ability on our attack, which is blades, claws, and fangs, okay? We're going to look at that. So what that does is when this character makes a close attack against a single target and hits, you may roll a d6. If you do damage, deal damage equal to the result instead of normal damage. Minimum result is this character's printed damage value -1. Okay, so what that means, what we're going to do is we're going to use blades, claws, and fangs. Okay, so instead of doing 3 damage, we're going to roll a d6 and hope we get a 5 or a 6 to deal that much damage, okay? But the lowest amount that we can get is 1 minus our printed damage box. Okay, so if we roll a 1, if you look at our damage box is a 3. So we're just going to be doing 2 damage, okay? Because that's the lowest damage that we can do based off of Blades, Claws, and Fangs. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll. And we got a 5. So we're dealing 5 points of damage, okay? Now, also looking at... Oh, dang, I dropped her. Now, looking at Rogue, her defense box is 17, but we already did it. But her defense box, she has toughness, okay? That's her defensive power, which is reduced damage by 1, okay? So with Blades, Claws, and Fangs, we did initially 5 damage, but it's going to be reduced by 1 because of Rogue's defense, or Rogue's defense block, okay? Now, if you were a good player, what you have done is you would have probably outwitted Rogue's defense box, okay? Because he does, Black Panther has outwit, so done the 5 damage, okay? But for argument's sake, we're not going to do that because I want to do as little powers as possible just so you guys can learn how to play. All right, so we did end up doing 4 damage. So what we're going to do is get this, and we're going to move Rogue. Well, Rogue was actually on, she was on click 5 actually. Let's put on, there we go. She's on click 1 now. So we're going to move her 1, 2, 3, 4. So she's on click 5. So she would have died with that 1 attack. That's insane. Okay. Now, after that, that's 1 action. So now you see Black Panther has 2 actions on him. So now when it comes back to my turn again, I will not be able to use Black Panther power action. I can use free action, not power ones, because he currently has 2 on him. Okay. Now, our second action, we are going to use this ability on Captain Marvel, her running power, which is running shot, okay? Running shot is the equivalent of charge, but for range attacks. You half your speed and make a range attack, okay? So we're gonna do that. So we're gonna go right here because Captain Marvel has a range of 6, so it's gonna be moving 4. Or not 4, excuse me, I can't count, 3. And so we are in line of sight, so you can see this. Line of sight, so we can make this attack. So we do have a choice. We could carry. We could carry if we want to, but we're not going to because Spider-Man is going to make an attack, okay? So that running shot goes right there. And what we are going to do is look at this. So she has the ability, energy explosion, okay? But we don't have to worry about that right now. We're not gonna end up doing that. It's just gonna be a regular range attack. So we are at 11. We don't have any other bonuses. Let's see, Invisible Woman. Let's see where she's at. She's at 18. I think she was right there. Okay. So she's at 18 to our 11. So we need a 7 or better. Okay. So we're gonna roll. We got a 7. Perfect. So after that, now we're gonna look at the damage. So wow, it's 4 damage. We're doing 4 damage. We're gonna look at Invisible Woman, see what she has. That looks like close, either defend or, yeah, I think it's defend. It's defend or close combat reflexes. I can't really tell because I'm colorblind, but we'll just go with close combat. We'll just do close combat. because I don't have her card on me and I can't really tell just based off the colors. So other than that, we're gonna deal her 4 points of damage. So she's on click 1, so we're gonna move her 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you look at this, as soon as you get a KO on a character, they are done. So they get removed from play unless a card states that they aren't removed from play yet, okay? Some abilities characters can come back to life if they get KO'd, but a lot of times they're not, okay? All right, so that was our second action, okay? And our next action, let's go ahead and sidestep with Iron Man. 1, 2. Okay, so we got him right there. And then after that, we are going to perplex. Let's just go ahead and perplex Iron Man's attack. So currently Iron Man is a 10 attack. He gets a buffer because he we did the X-Men team ability. So we get +1 if we're attacking X-Men characters. So that puts us at 11, 12. So we're at base 12 attack right now, okay? And then we also do have our attack box, okay? So our attack box, what we're gonna do is, it also has range combat expert. Dang. So range combat expert, if we look at this, it just gives us another boost. Excuse me. Where's it at? Okay, right here. So range combat expert, this character modifies attack and damage +1 while making a range attack, okay? So our damage goes up 1 and our attack goes up 1. So we were already at 12. Now we're at 13 with 3 damage, okay? Let's make a roll. Okay, so we got a 10. So that definitely is gonna hit. So if we look at Wolverine, Wolverine has the toughness symbol, which reduces it by 1. Okay, so we're initially doing 3 minus 1, so that's 2. So it's going to be taking 2. 1, 2. Okay. And then after that, so I did one action with Black Panther, another action with Captain Marvel, and now I did another action with Iron Man. And so now my last action is with Spider-Man, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So now Spider-Man is going to use his movement power, okay? So it's brown. So also what you can do, it tells you back here what it's hypersonic speed. So if you look at the speed right here, power, hypersonic speed, it's a power, half range. You can't move. This just means you can't take anybody with you. This action, this character has range, cannot carry, and cannot move through squares occupied by or adjacent to opposing characters without stopping. They still must break away. Move, then make an attack, then move up to your speed value minus number of squares you just moved. Okay? So what we're going to do, we have a movement of 6. So what we're going to do is move Spider-Man 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And then after that, our range is half. Our range is 4, so it gets half to 2, so that doesn't matter because we're already in close combat right now, okay? After that, what we are going to do is we're going to roll. Spider-Man does not have the Avengers team ability. He has a Spider-Man ability, so we don't get that buff, okay? Other than that, his attack box, let me see. His attack box states, incapacitate, precision strike. When Spider-Man uses incapacitate, he can deal each hit character 1 damage in addition to giving them the action token. Okay, that's just incapacitate. Just states that you can give them an action token. Okay, or you give them an action token instead of dealing damage, okay? But we're not going to choose incapacitate. We're just going to do a regular attack. So it's 11 to Wolverine's. Let's see what he has. He's at 16 now. Okay, so that means we need at least a 5 to do damage to him. Okay, let me just see his buff right now. Okay, so he has outwit. No, not outwit. He has regeneration. Excuse me. Okay. So we need, what did I say we needed? 11. We need a 5 or better. Okay. So we're going to roll. Okay. We got a 8. So we are going to hit him. So if we look at Spider-Man, Spider-Man is dealing 3 damage. So we're going to move this tick to 3. 1, and then Wolverine dies. Okay. Now we just have the lonely rogue left. Okay. So that right there is our 4th action. We clear anybody out who did not make an action this turn. Okay. Everybody performed an action, so everybody keeps their token. Okay. And after that, it will go to Rogue. Rogue does her thing. Okay. Then it goes back to our turn. You'll do the leadership. So we'll roll for leadership with Black Panther. We remember what leadership is. We need at least a 5 or greater to remove an action token from an adjacent character. Okay, we got a 1, so that doesn't happen. And then after that, we'll just do our turn again. So literally what we did the first 2 turns, we're going to do it again. But let's just say we decide to do nothing. Okay, we just strictly want to pass. Okay, so if we were to ever pass, I don't recommend doing that because there's always things to do. But let's just say we pass, so we clear out all the characters that did not perform an action this turn. Okay, so pretty much now that makes to where they start over. Okay, yeah, but other than that, guys, that was Heroclix in a nutshell. Okay, I'm thinking about making another video going over this attack power because you're gonna really reference this more than you think. Okay, my friends, you know, they've been playing for a decade and they still reference this. Okay, but other than that, I hope this tutorial was useful to you guys. If you can, just please, you know, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so whenever something like this happens again, another video, you'll get notified. Later.